Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be giving a movie review of the movie The Last Voyage of the Demeter. I'm a huge vampire fan. I love Bram Stoker's Dracula. I'm ecstatic they made this movie. It is worth watching. However, there are some issues, some storyline problems, and just a few things that just don't make sense that maybe we should discuss and figure out maybe why the movie didn't do so well in the theaters. So, let's get started. It starts out where the ship has crashed into the shore. This movie is based off the Bram Stoker's Dracula novel, Chapter 7, Captain's Log. At the beginning, the ship has crashed on Whitby Harbor, and the Coast Guard comes out and they find that nobody's alive. In the book, Mina and one of the members of the Coast Guard, they see the ship. It's sailing, swaying back and forth near the shore. They felt like it looked like it wasn't being manned by anyone. So that's consistent. That is why Mina was involved a little, and she was allowed to have the captain's log, and that's how her journal, her diary, gets put into the book. The movie jumps from the shore scene to the men who are transporting the big crates of dirt to the harbor in Bulgaria. This is a period piece, of course, and they did an excellent job on the setting. The set, the characters, the actors they chose did an amazing job. I didn't have any problem with anyone's acting. They were all excellent. All the details for everything were just wonderful. We see Clemens in the beginning, and he really wants to be on the Demeter. He wants to go back to England, but they reject him in the beginning. However, they go ahead and accept him after one of the other men completely quit because he sees the symbol of the devil serpent, the dragon, which is the symbol for Dracula's family because they defeated the Turks.
Baxtasa. What did he spit at the end? Good leave or good riddance? Good luck.
They go ahead and let Clemens be part of the crew because he saves Toby from a falling crate. Toby is the captain's grandson. This is an adorable child. They picked the best kid for this role. He's adorable. Toby and Clemens, they become close pretty quick. When they're on the ship, Toby gives him a tour of the ship, shows him the animals that he's in charge of taking care of. He gets to meet the cook, Joseph, who is awesome.
And now you won't serve any man who takes the Lord's name in vain.
He means the last one.
I mean all of them. Do you know who St. Nicholas is?
Patron Saint Assalis.
Well, you're not a heathen. Thank the Lord for small favors.
The scene that really creeped me out the most was the scene when the rats are running wild and they're crawling over the men while they're sleeping. Oh, that was bad. I'll never forget that. Then they have the scene where the men are eating and they're discussing what they're going to do with their pay. And this is like the first problem that I've seen with the movie. The pace. The pace is important. It seems that they go really slow during times, when you don't need it to be slow. And then they go fast during times when there's important things that you need to know and you need more detail. But the slow times, I just wanted to stop and look away and look at my phone and text or whatever because it seemed very slow, and like what was being discussed was just really unimportant. So that was my first real issue.
What the devil is that?
Toby, see to the livestock.
While they're discussing what they're going to do with their pay, the dog starts barking. The dog's name's Huck. And, of course, the captain sends Toby down to check on the animals, see what's going on. Clemens goes down with them because they've become pretty tight. As soon as they get down there, I mean, they see that the animals are completely freaking out. And then, magically, there's a huge storm happening and the boat is starting to rock. This does not make sense. The weather was fine, there was no storm, and then suddenly they get down there to check and there's a big storm and the boat is rocking and there's a big bang sound. One big bang sound. And magically, Clemens just knows that a big crate has fallen. He didn't see it, he's only been down there one time, but he knows it's a crate that's fallen. Okay, we'll roll with that. He goes and looks, there's a crate that's fell, but it's like at an angle, and there's just a little space, probably about like this, that's open, that dirt has come out of the box. Here's my next issue. There's a girl in the box that has come out, and she's in the pile of dirt, and he sifts through it, and he finds her. The space for the dirt to come out, it does not look wide enough for an entire human body to have fallen out. That makes no sense also. Okay, next thing that doesn't make sense. He gets the girl, he takes her back up to the next level, they put her down on a table, and he has this long, old school style thing where he's listening to her heart, and he's literally is checking her out, looking her over for maybe half a minute, maybe. He listens to her heart for a second, and then he makes his diagnosis. Well, she needs a blood transfusion. Really? After a second of listening to her, that's the diagnosis? That's what you're gonna do? Okay. It's a vampire movie. We know she does need it, but that doesn't make sense, really. Clemens gets done doing the transfusion for the girl, who is actually, her name is Anna. After he's done, he asks Toby to keep an eye on her, and he's going to go up on deck. I'm supposing that it's his turn to do the watch. He gets up there. Old Garin is up there. Old Garin is just hot. He is so hot. He looks scruffy. He looks massive scruffy in this movie, but that man is hot. Oh my God. Anyway, he speaks 5 different languages. He is all that in a bag of chips. Anyway, he's looking around and he sees someone on board. In the novel, he reports that he sees a tall, thin man. In the book, the captain orders everyone to search the ship for this mysterious, stowaway. They find nothing. Since Dracula has killed and drank the blood of all the animals on the ship, the men are on deck and they're tossing the animals into the water. While this is happening, they get to where they're getting ready to, put the dog overboard, and Toby runs by, very upset, having a breakdown, and Clemens chases after him to go talk to him about how, this was not your fault, and, because Toby's blaming himself. My thing is, shouldn't that be the captain's job to tell Toby that it's not his fault? He's his grandpa. It just seems weird that it's Clemens that's going to have to be there for him. Joseph, the cook, he is actually complaining that there are no rats on board now.
A boat without rats. Such a thing is against nature.
Petrovsky, he goes up on deck and he's drinking, and in my opinion, he's the perfect person to die first because he's obviously the most expendable person. He's the one talking some smack about how women are such bad luck. So anyway, he goes up on deck and he sees Dracula. Dracula gets him. In my opinion, there was just way too much blood wasted. Wasn't Dracula, like, stressing out because he drank all the animals and he needs the blood? He just drips it everywhere. He's wasteful. He's wasting the blood. That bothers me. Clemens goes on deck and he realizes that Petrovsky is gone. He sees blood on the deck and he sees, Petrovsky's knife, but, no Petrovsky because he done bit it. But anyway, they're talking about that on deck, and Anna, she wakes up and she comes running out on the deck and she's just completely losing her whole mind, looking crazy, but she has totally good reason to. So Clemens, he gets her back into their, room, and she's calmer after he's given her another transfusion, and she's trying to explain to him that, hey, I was a snack. My people gave me to Dracula as a snack, and Clemens is just not wanting to buy it, and so she's showing him the evidence of her bite marks everywhere. He's still really not buying it. It's frustrating. So, with Petrovsky missing now, the captain, yet again, orders everyone to search the ship for the missing stowaway person. Okay? This is driving me crazy. We have all this evidence. We have the crates. We have the men being afraid of the symbol on the boxes. We have dirt falling out of a box and a girl falling out of the box. Why are they not checking the crates? So Ogarin and Larson, they go up on deck and they're going to be doing their shift up there, and they hear a noise. They're going around, trying to investigate it, and Dracula, he gets Larson. He's down, and, Ogarin, this precious man, he's running for it. But what does this man do? He runs and climbs up one of the sails. Why? Why would he climb up the sail? That just, oh my lord, that doesn't make sense. That is equivalent to what they said in the Scream movies, where the big-breasted blonde, runs upstairs instead of out the front door. Why would he go up the sails? Anyway, he goes up the sails. Dracula goes up the sails. That's the end of it for him. The ship starts, rocking really bad because there's no one on deck driving the ship. So it's rocking really bad. The men realize there's something wrong again. They come up on deck, and then they find Olgarin hanging from the sails. It's tragic. So next we have the captain. He has Toby down in their room, and he tells this child to clean his spyglass because he's trying to, come up with something to keep the kid busy while they go search the ship once again for whatever did this. Anyway, the child, it's a bummer that he's in that time period because he needed an Xbox. There's no way cleaning that little thing is going to be keeping that child busy. Here is another storyline issue. Anna, who had been in the box for who knows how long and had been being bit over and over, and then had at least a week of daily transfusions, slept and then got up, okay? But right away, Olgarin is up, and he is full on, zombie mode. His eyes turn white. He is looking like he came out of the movie The Evil Dead. He comes zombieing down the hall. Toby, who is not busy with the spyglass, comes out the room and finds him. Ogarin is trying to drag him up. He gets away, gets back into the room and locks the door like he was told. And here comes Ogarin, and he's coming down and he's banging on the door with his face. He's busting the door with his face. I hope it didn't really hurt him in real life. But anyway, he's banging a hole in the door with his face, and he's reaching in the hole to unlock the door. Okay, so Toby, he's banging and banging and banging so that everyone up on deck can hear that he's, in trouble. They finally hear it and realize it and come down. They grab Ogarin and hold him down on the ground like a mental patient, and they're looking through this huge hole in the door, and they see Dracula in there. Don't know how he got in there, but okay, he's in there. And these men are banging and banging on the door. Ogarin, who is in zombie mode, was about to get the door open, but these men can't get it open. They can't reach their arm in and open it. This is ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. So Dracula's in there and he's getting Toby. So we have Anna. Anna shows up. She channels her inner Sigourney. She's grabbing a gun. She's shooting the door down, but it's too late. Dracula's already got Toby, and Toby had a cross on him. The cross had absolutely no effect, which is not consistent with the book. Since Ogarin tried to attack Toby, they are not having him, laying down and getting transfusions anymore. They've got him strapped to a pole on deck. He's not in the best of moods. He's going through stuff. But the sun starts to come up, and he starts saying he's burning. And he gets the full-on 30 days of night flamage going on. So he burns up. And then we have Joseph, who is, sitting around, and he's talking about how he thinks that Toby is going to be the next one to, turn into a monster. And here's the thing. Clemens is totally agreeing. He's like, well, I don't think he's going to survive because he's smaller. The bite was very severe. He lost way more blood. What? Excuse me? If he's small, they should be able to replace all his blood way more easily. He just got bit. That makes no sense when Anna, she'd been being bit over and over and over. In the book, they mention that there's a fog around the ship. I did not notice that. If you noticed it, let me know, but I didn't see that. So that's a small inconsistency for the story. With Ogarin, blowing up in flames and Toby not doing so good, now Clemens, he comes to Anna, and he's finally decided that maybe checking the crates is a good idea. Really? Finally?
You're going to open the crates, aren't you?
Okay. So they go to check the crates, and the first couple ones that Clemens chooses to open, there's nothing in it but dirt. But then Anna, she finds one that looks different. It has the big symbol of the dragon on it, and it has, a little more complex details to it. Okay, so if you've seen Dracula, the one that has Gerard Butler, that's an awesome one. In that movie, the people come in and they steal the coffin, and they take forever to figure out how to get this coffin open. Van Helsing has rigged it to where it's not easy to open. It takes them forever. That movie comes to mind when I see this next scene, because Anna takes a look at this box and figures out the special way to get it open like that. She just gets it open. Okay, so she gets that sucker open, and they look inside. Dracula's not in there, but what is in there is the Wolfman's cane. Why?
Into the deep. Into the heart.
Joseph, he has completely had it. He's decided that he's going to take the small boat, the little dinghy, and he's going to escape. He's going to get off the ship, because clearly everyone on the ship is dying. So seems like a really good idea. He gets out onto the ocean, and Dracula finally looks like a vampire. He sprouts his wings, and he flies out to the little boat, and he gets Joseph. Sadly, as Clemens predicted, Toby doesn't make it. In the book, it mentions that the first mate, he starts going slowly crazy. He wasn't happy, but I didn't really buy that he was really going crazy. But I did buy it with the captain. The captain is clearly slipping into insanity, especially now that Toby has died. When Toby dies, they go ahead and they wrap him up in a tarp, and they're going to give him a little bit of a funeral and toss him overboard. But the captain, he's like, no, I saw him move. This does not go well. It's daytime. They're on the deck, and he opens it up. And Toby, full flame, gets his 30 days a night moment. And then they go ahead and push him over, and that's just heart-wrenching, because that little muffin was so precious.
It was not running.
The only people left now are Anna, Clemens, the captain, and the first mate. They come up with the most ridiculous plan. They've decided what they're going to do is they're going to lock up the top of the ship so that they, lock Dracula down in the bottom, and then they're going to sink it, and then, Dracula will have to go down and be sunk into the ocean. This is ridiculous because we've already seen how the doors that they have, that they open and close to put things down into the bottom, he's already broke through that wood. He showed he could just totally break through it. So that makes no sense. But anyway, they're up on deck, and they've got their guns, and they're going to do this plan, and Dracula comes out just as I expected, and he comes up and he goes and gets the first mate because he's up on the sails. He knocks him down. He falls through the wood, breaks everything. Shocker. While he's down there, he goes ahead and he takes his axe and he busts a hole in the side in order to make the ship sink. While he's doing that, Anna and Clemens are taking the time to get the boat ready so they can escape. And the captain, he's tying himself to the wheel, which is consistent with the book. Dracula comes back. He goes up and he's attacking the captain. And the captain, he's holding up his cross, which has no effect on Dracula at all. Clemens, he shows up to help the captain, but way too late. And he helps unstrap him from the wheel and get him, sitting down at least. I mean, he's still tied to it, so it's consistent with the story. But he puts his cross back into his hand, which is also in the book. Him and Anna, they're trying to figure out what to do. So Clemens, he starts yelling a bunch of smack at Dracula, telling him he ain't nothing. So he's doing that. He baits him. Dracula comes after him. Anna, being the awesome woman in horror movies that she is, because, she's got her Jamie Lee Curtis moves coming on. Anyway, she shoots at him, and that distracts them for a minute. And then she cuts a rope. I don't know. And then a huge piece of wood swings down and smashes into Dracula, holding him down for a minute. They take this opportunity to dive overboard, and they're like, oh, we got away, we're gonna make it. They're floating in the ocean, Titanic style. I don't know why there's so much wood and wreckage out in the ocean. I don't understand that doesn't make sense either, but whatever. Okay, so they're floating out there, and Anna turns around and looks at Clemens, and boom, she's got the white eyes. She's turning into the zombie vampire thing, and she's totally calm about it. She's like, look, I never thought there was a cure. I just thought, we were buying some time. It's fine. It's fine. I'm going to die with some dignity. She climbs up on some wood and floats away. She lights on fire. She got her 30 days of night moment. So then it's just Clemens floating out there, whatever. So the ship does crash and all of that. And then we have the scene where Clemens, he's walking around London, and he goes into a pub and he's asking about where the Carfax place is, because he's got the paperwork from the ship and he knows where the boxes were being delivered. So he knows where Dracula's going to be. So he thinks he sees Dracula in the pub, and then he walks away, talking about how he's vowing to find this, monster and kill it.
This blight.
I'm thinking that maybe the idea is that, Clemens is going to be the new Van Helsing, because he's the doctor, he knows about the blood transfusions, he's going to go and try to deal with everything. I'm not sure that would happen, though, if they just hinted it and then it's not going to, because of how the movie did at the theaters. Maybe they will, and if they do, I will be. Well, I'm going to end this with one last issue. One more thing that was inconsistent with the movie and the book. In the book, it says that when they find the ship, a huge dog runs off. This is not in the movie. So, there's that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you come back to see the next movie review.